What's up guys, Manny from Motomillion. In this video I'm going to show you how to install a TWM fuel cap on your Diavel V4. The instructions are the same for the aluminum ones and the flat carbon fiber ones. And this is a great upgrade because it's super easy to open them when you want to fill up. All you do is press down, quarter turn, it opens, and then you put it back on. But don't forget, this bike comes with a proximity key. It doesn't have a traditional key. You don't have to have the key somewhere accessible or on your dash or anywhere near it for it to start. It's usually in your pocket. When you get to the gas station, I kind of find it annoying to try to find that key just to open the fuel cap to fill up the bike. This way, sometimes I don't have to take my gloves off. All I do is grab my phone, tap it at the pump, get the pump going, and just open the fuel cap just like this, fill up, and I'm on my way. But let me show you how to install it on this beautiful motorcycle. On these bikes, the changing of the fuel cap is a little different than just unbolting the stock one and bolting on the aftermarket one. There's a few more steps involved in that, and I'm going to show you the steps. First thing is you're going to pop your fuel cap open. You're going to have 4 bolts that are underneath. We're going to take this off. We're going to dissect the pieces of the fuel cap apart because there's a flange and a fuel cap that's put together. You're going to transfer it onto the TWM one, and we're going to replace the cap from here like that. Try not to put any of these bolts in your fuel tank. So this is the fuel cap assembly. I'm going to remove the bolts away from it. And the flange is this piece that you see over here. We're going to have to get our Phillips screwdriver, take this off, and then transfer this flange assembly over to the TWM one. So there you go. Now that the Phillips screws are out, this should just come apart just like that. This is the assembly that we're not going to use. This is what we're using. So this is our TWM fuel cap, and this is the hardware that comes with it. Let me show you something really quick, guys. When you're putting it together, because you're going to have to put this together, there is a little lip on here, if you can see it. So this is supposed to be at 12 o'clock. So when you go to place this back on your motorcycle, make sure that this is looking forward on the bike. So this is what comes out of your TWM hardware pack. We're going to grab these oval nuts and we're going to insert them on the back of this flange, and they should just stay in there. And just make sure that when you put them in that they're not dropping. A little trick is if they start coming off, you could apply a little bit of thick grease so that they stay in place. If not, you could try to super glue them in place. I don't recommend that. The grease should be the best way to go with it. And we're going to insert it into all the 5 holes in here, and then we're going to put this piece back onto the motorcycle. So guys, before we go ahead, you want to make sure that your bolts are threaded into your oval nuts, and that we're going to tighten these 4 bolts that we took off from the original fuel cap. And this is the time that you want to make sure before you tighten everything, all of these oval nuts that are underneath are seating incorrectly, because once we tighten this, those oval nuts are going to sit in place, and then we could back these bolts off of them and put our fuel cap on it. Make sure all of these bolts are tight, because once we put our fuel cap on, we don't have access to those bolts anymore. And this is the piece that I was referring to, guys. This is at 12 o'clock, so this piece here is facing forward on the bike. Once you tighten your 4 bolts, your oval nuts will be in place, so they won't move around. And this is really important, guys. You want to make sure those oval nuts are sitting flat and straight. If not, you're going to strip the oval nuts. But the next step is to grab our fuel cap. Do not forget this gasket over here. If you forget this gasket, and if it falls and you don't put it into place right here, you're going to have some leaking. So make sure that is in place. This is almost 100% of the times that we get a call that there is a leaking fuel cap. They forget that gasket in place. And if you have everything oriented correctly, your TWM logo here is going to be at 6 o'clock. And don't be alarmed, this Italian flag sticker, if you don't want it on your motorcycle, it's a sticker and it comes off. Try not to push down too much, because you don't want those oval nuts to drop to a level that it's not going to thread in straight. There you go. Now that you got a few threads started on each one of those, grab your 2.5mm Allen and just try to tighten them down in a star pattern. Just make sure it's all tight, and there you go. Guys, that's how easy it is to install this fuel cap on the Diavel V4. Now it makes things a lot easier by just press down, quarter turn, you open, fill up, and then you put it right back on like this, and it locks in place. Don't forget the cap at the gas station. There is different models from TWM. So there is a carbon model that's flat on top. The installation is exactly the same. And also there's different colors of handles for these things. It's whatever suits your taste. There's no right or wrong answer. There is also another carbon model that hides the bolts that are on here. The installation is very similar, not exactly the same. So look out for the instructions that are in the package with that. So try to follow it. But if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Until next time, guys, have a good one.